done all over the nation. And today, 1 million cups is now in 30 cities, launching in 4 new cities. Springfield, Missouri is one of them. Let me grab the list here. There's a county out in Virginia that's starting 1 million cups. Shreveport, Louisiana, and Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It's a county out in 4 new cities. Pretty exciting. And Tulsa was, I think, the 23rd city. So it's pretty cool. All right, let you grab your seat. This morning we've got Andy with OfferBox. OfferBox is a cool, is it probably MVP is your status right now? Product. They're reaching in-store customers with a product that they've developed that integrates with digital technology. So give it up for Andy with OfferBox.
Thanks, Tim. Hey guys, I'm really glad to be here to talk to you about what we're doing at OfferBox to help retailers and brands reach their in-store customer. So, some of you may have heard people say or even thought to yourself that retail sales that happen in physical stores would one day all go online, and the retail store would die. And even this way of thinking has got retailers really focused on building their e-commerce platforms and building tools to help them target and acquire customers online. Until recently, that trend is starting to shift to how do I take how do I take online now offline? And so with 90% of retail sales still happening in physical locations, retailers are starting to turn their attention back on their most valuable assets, their retail stores. And they're looking at adopting technology that helps them understand more about who that in-store customer is, or really take some of that sophistication they've had online for quite some time into the retail store. So at OfferBox, we've noticed that retailers and brands have several solutions online to run efficient and effective promotions to target and acquire those customers, get their attention, gather some information. But the solutions that are being used in store today really are antiquated. They're old school. They're collecting entries or information on pen and paper. They're using solutions that maybe don't provide a really good in-store experience, and they're not taking advantage of that real-time interaction that's happening between the retailer and the customer. So at OfferBox, we're building a solution to help retailers and brands engage their in-store customer, collect some valuable data that helps them understand more about who that customer is, and gives them the ability to reach out to them in real time with relevant offers that help increase sales. So you can say OfferBox really is customer analytics and digital promotions for the physical world or the retail store. So I really, again, appreciate you guys giving me a chance to talk to you about what we're doing. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on kind of where we're at right now in this MVP or idea. We've really are early stage as a company. We're looking right now to connect with some local retail or marketing professionals to talk about the idea, where we're at with that, potentially pilot that, so we can see what the response is from a consumer standpoint and from from a retailer and the value they get from our offering. So, any questions you guys have? I'm going to grab a mic for you.
All right, let me grab the microphone. You can go, Amy.
All right, so I'm a little lost on the logistics. So when I walk into a Bed Bath & Beyond, I need to log into something, or will my phone connect? Is it with check? I mean, how do you?
So initially, what we're looking to use is like a digital screen, right? So there's a lot of people really looking at the idea of how do I push you stuff to your mobile phone. And for us, we're investigating that, but there's a lot of barriers to entry for a consumer to say download an app and then log into Wi-Fi or agree to location services and then be willing to download every retailer's app. So the idea of in-store screens is already used today, but a lot of those screens are really dumb, right? They're just providing information, but they're not really pulling things back in. So how can we use a digital screen that engages you, asks you for maybe something in terms of like, here's a deal, here's an offer for 40% off, all we need is your email address or your cell phone number, we can text that to you. So you're actually activating that screen, right? You're actively engaging with that company. So we can measure things like not only how many activations or engagements were there, but what time of day was it? What location were they at? Where within the store were they? You know, what department had the most effective promotion or campaign? What particular image or offer worked the best? For me, the idea is, how do you A/B test that? If you have multiple locations, can you say I offered 5% here and 20% here? And really, I could offer 5% across the board because the engagement was the same, and people still utilize that promotion. So yeah, the idea really is digital screens. We're starting with something simple like an iPad or a tablet device that already has that capability to interact and kind of talk back. Sure.
What's your vision for this screen inside the store? What attracts me to walk up to the screen and do anything with it as opposed to walking by it like the other brand outside the store?
So for me, there's the idea of, okay, how do I reach a broad market? With the idea of hitting people with a ton of ads and seeing who engages or who's willing to interact with me. There's also the idea of a brand of how do I target those people who are my customer or who are in front of my product in a way that lets me understand what that customer thinks about me or what that customer, what the value of that customer is to me. So I understand, I guess, your concern of how are people going to see this. Today, a lot of retailers use branding or signage or whatever to attract you to a certain promotion. And I guess the idea of an iPad would be that's the interaction point. So, one, they could use bigger signs or something that would normally pull someone in. And two, how do we just get those people who are actually in front of our product and brand, experiencing it, touching it, playing with it? For instance, like you may have walked into a Target or a Best Buy where you got headphones, you can try those on. What would be the value of real-time interaction with that customer and feedback about that product? Hey, how'd you like it? Did it sound good? Was the price too high? Some information that would give you feedback on how you actually reach that customer and convert them to a sale later. So, yeah.
What's your differentiator compared to a retail location putting their existing web form, survey forms on an iPad right now and putting it in the kiosk and doing it themselves? What do you offer that's different from that?
So essentially right now we're offering a solution that has a stronger back end than just a normal, let's collect some data and put it up on like a database, and then you can pull that data down and analyze it. So our goal really is allowing retailers to quickly put up some kind of campaign, target that campaign up across different locations, understand the value or the return on investment for each location. It's more than just let's collect some data, let's put up a screen and collect some information. It's really about what is that telling you on the back end and what other data points can we pull in outside of the answers of that store. So for instance, can we pull in weather data that says, hey, we ran this campaign, it was rainy outside, you got more people that came in during this time because of weather implications or whatever that case may be.
Can you define stronger back end? Sounds kind of vague.
So at this point, if you're collecting data with like a WooFoo form or form stack, you're not getting a lot of robust analytics tools that would say, they're going to pull in demographics and maybe spit out some numbers and percentage of participation. But in terms of backend, I'm talking about from a retailer's point of view or a marketer's point of view. They want to sit at their desk. They want to be able to build a campaign and launch that campaign over multiple devices. And so our backend would allow them to not have to have someone at each store literally change or flip that campaign, but they'd be able to build, launch that campaign and push it to that device without the need or interaction from an in-store employee.
So everything I've heard so far has been from the retailer's perspective.
Yeah.
So why this is good for There we go. Can you just hold both of them? It's been all about why is this good for the retailer, what it's going to do for us, yet everything relies upon me as the consumer wanting to do something with your system. Why is what you're doing any better than printed on the receipt, the email I get afterwards, the mailer I get in the mail? What's in it for me that's going to make me want to do something? Because ultimately that's what's going to make Lowe's wants to buy you, all these other people use you?
Sure. So from a consumer's perspective, when you're at home and you get a mailer, or you're sitting on a couch and you see a commercial, right? You're potentially being influenced, but you're less likely at that point for that to be a relevant offer to you. So you're in the store and you're actually shopping in the moment, and you're closer to that purchasing decision. If you're able to get an offer that makes sense for you in the moment, then you're more likely to utilize that offer, be willing to spend money, because you're kind of in that purchasing mode, right?
So how do you know what's relevant to you?
So initially the retailer would have to know, okay, I'm targeting this area of the store. So let's use an example like a Dick's Sporting Goods. You go into Dick's, if you're a golfer, you may shop in the golf section, right? And so you walk in the golf section and they have a promotion or a campaign running to say, here's a chance to win a set of golf clubs. That golfer would say, hey, yeah, I'd like to win a set of golf clubs. So they go and they enter to win that contest and give whatever information is needed. And then Dick's could set up an immediate response that says, hey, by the way, golfer, we have Nike golf balls on sale. You may want to check those out. So there's relevance because we know where you're shopping or what you're interested in, and we can offer you promotion about, what else is going on in the store that, maybe of need to you. So.
Andy, can you talk a little bit about first of all, how you came up with the concept, and then I see the in-store engagement. Are you guys developing some sort of piece that you can utilize with your customers, and what's sort of the thinking with that?
So the idea itself really kind of spurred from me just kind of always being a thinker and always looking for how do you improve. And my day job right now is I'm an operations manager, so I'm all about efficiency and how do you make things better and save money. So looking at retailers while I'm in store, just one day kind of running into some companies who are running these in-store contests and seeing them still collecting entries on pen and paper is where it started. Thinking, okay, we've been using mobile devices and digital entry online and all kinds of stuff for so long. Why are people still relying on pen and paper to collect the information they want to know about these people participating? So it's developed and kind of molded itself from there. In terms of engagement, right now engagement means how do we interact with a customer in a way that pulls them in, draws them in, and then speaks back out to them once you get the information you're looking for. But like I said earlier, we're looking at how to use things like beacon technology to be able to understand someone's location or location awareness, and then be able to speak to them with relevant information, maybe based on that department or what's going on. But again, we've kind of discussed what are the barriers to entry there and how do we overcome those. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with beacon technology, but something like an iPad has what's called iBeacon already built into it. So using a digital screen with a tablet that already allows you to also use a beacon technology could create a way for you to visualize something and then also pull down an offer straight from that screen to your device, or push an offer to somebody.
And so on the in-stores, do you have a store that you're piloting this in, or what sort of hardware are you utilizing?
So right now we've got some demo equipment that we've been using, really just kind of demonstrate the product, which is iPads and then kiosks, or the ability to attach a kiosk to a wall or something of that nature. But we are not fully piloting with anybody at the moment. So one of the things that we're looking for right now from the entrepreneurial community is the ability to connect with marketers or local retail, some people that we can actually get in front of to discuss, what's the offering here, what do you guys see value in, and can we run a test or pilot at your location to see, what the response is from your customer.
Do you need somebody that already has an online presence? Because if it's a local person, they're more of a destination shop versus someone that's making a visual decision buying online elsewhere. What would be good?
I think that's probably a good test market. Is when you look at a consumer who goes into a retail store, they've got those two options. Can I buy it in store? Can I buy it online? So I think that's probably a good idea. Is can we connect with someone who's got a presence in both places? Sure.
So what about Grocers and local manufacturers of goods like that. Could it work in a high traffic? I mean, that kind of not. It's different retail, but it's retail.
Sure.
Right. So there were resellers and they were the seasoning room, let's say, and you had a manufacturer of chili seasoning, right? It's local. What about that? Could that? I mean, it's relevant offers right now, and then other goods in the aisle. Could that work?
Yeah, I would think right now what we're looking for is anybody with a physical location, typically with a lot of traffic, who needs to understand who that customer is, or who their customer is they're reaching at that location. People who attend events, trade shows, maybe on a regular basis, who find value in this on a monthly basis. So
I'll want to catch up with you after.
Okay, cool.
Hey Andy, quick question. So is this something that you could offer to the retailers that you'd be talking to as like a less invasive way of getting their information? Because I know that right now a lot of talk that's going on is retailers are like buying information from other people that you're willingly giving your email or your physical address or whatever information they're collecting. But then they're taking that and they're trying to better, curtail their marketing towards you. But this is a way that the customer that's coming into their store willingly is then again willingly giving this information over, as opposed to them like just somehow getting it and you feel like that you're being marketed to in a really like, it's almost, I think it's kind of creepy. So maybe it's a way that is less invasive and is more free will.
Yeah, so you're more getting permission, right? And I agree with that. And the good thing about being able to offer somebody something of value or relevant to them is they're more willing to give up some information. Statistics and people that we've talked to and some secondary research has 85% of people say, hey, if you're offering me something, maybe an instant gratification or instant reward, then I'm willing to give you some kind of personal information. That level of information may differ depending on who the person is, but they're willing to give up something in return for that value.
Okay, so what's next for you guys? Are you raising capital? I mean, obviously you're looking to start piloting this with a few retailers.
Yep. So
where are you guys financially?
Our next goal right now is to connect with those companies who'd be willing to, go into deeper talks about this locally and pilot this, so we can kind of get a better understanding of our offering, where the value is, what we need to focus on building out. And then, our next goal is to raise capital. So we were recently an IT immersion company. We did raise a little seed money there. Still working with that, but our goal is to be able to, really build the product out and prove this, and then eventually get into big box retail. So we'll need some seed funding to do that.
Any other questions? Here you go. Let me give you the microphone.
Is this just one product, or do you have many facets to this? Is this one offering? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
right now this is definitely one product. The idea is, building out this piece, and we've got a bigger vision, obviously, for where this could go, or the use cases that it can be built into, but we're focusing really on the one, how do we promote, collect information, and offer something to someone in real time.
I have a quick question. Who else is doing this? I mean, surely there's some other companies that are already in this space.
So our competitors right now do consist of people who are in kind of the proximity marketing, where they're requiring people to log in when they get to a store, use an app, or check into Wi-Fi, or Bluetooth low E technologies like iBeacon. Other companies do tablet-based data collection, mostly for surveys. So their goal is, how do we help you on location, survey people, and gather information that way. But no one has really put a focus on how do we help you do promotions or offer something that makes them want to take a survey or answer a couple questions or provide some demographic info or whatever that may be that you find is valuable information to use in your retail store.
So I've heard your pitch, and I've heard the questions and answers, and I'm still not clear exactly what you do. Could you, I don't know if there's a 15-second elevator pitch you can give me. I don't know the difference between maybe surveys and what exactly is a promotion that you're doing you're at that's not being done right now?
So one example would be, picture I have here at Best Buy. Best Buy does a survey where they ask people to go to a website or a social media page or mail in an entry form, where they're basically saying, hey, here's a chance to win $5,000 for a shopping spree on your store. We want to get some information about you. Would you provide that in these manners? And our goal is, let's set up a kiosk in your store, let people engage in the moment and actually shopping and in the experience versus asking them to go home and go online where they may forget or ask them on their receipt where the receipt might say, here's your chance to win, go to this website. But by the time you get home, you forgot about it.
What is the thought behind setting up a kiosk instead of pushing the actual promotional survey to their device? Because everybody already has a device. You're creating a point of congestion for people to come and sign up for something when you could make it available to everybody who walks by that area.
Sure. So that's a thought. That's something we're looking at doing is how do we get someone to see a sign or see that kiosk and then be able to take that survey with them. When you look at sweepstakes laws or contest laws, they actually state that you have to create an entry point for anybody to be able to enter the contest. So those people who don't know how to do that or don't have maybe a smartphone yet, that would kind of put them out of the running for that. So you may be forced to then take a paper entry or still do mail-in or something like that. So it's a solution that we've created that says anybody can really do it. It kind of follows those laws. And then what are those other ideas that we can help someone take that with them? Maybe text them a link or something, right?
All right, Andy, if you would, you've touched on it a little bit, but recap for us how the entrepreneurial community can help you.
So if you guys know or you are a marketer or someone in the promotion industry or local retail, we'd like to talk to you about what we're doing, what that offering might be able to do for you, and get your feedback on it. Thanks.
All right, thank you, man. All right, bear with me, I'm flying solo today, so I'm going to jump around here. Announcements for today. Forge Ahead series, Thursday the 27th, tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. is Alternative Sources of Funding panel. We'll post all these links on our Facebook page. Open Mind has an event, Digital Marketing for Everyone. Writing, Analytics, and Optimization with Eric Morrow, a digital marketing expert. That's on Friday, this Friday, 11:30 to 1. You can get those details at themindtulsa.com/events. And then we've been pushing this one pretty hard, but if you're a freelancer or an entrepreneur and you can come out on Friday, March 7th, we've got a co-working day taking place in the Brady Arts District. It's brought to you by Typros, The Forge, The Mind, and CCEW. And it's all day, Friday, March 7th. It's at the Ford Building, which is at 223 North Main Street. You can find that at themindtulsa.com/events as well. They're sort of piloting and testing, is co-working good for Tulsa? Would it work? So if you think it would and you'd like to come out and support, please just bring your laptop or whatever and come hang out with everybody, get some cross-collaboration. I think it's going to be a fun time. They've got a couple events and speakers with that as well. All right, and then lastly, for those of you that didn't hear, last week the founder of 1 Million Cups was supposed to be in Tulsa and he got the flu literally the day before. So, but he's coming this next week. So Tulsa's done really well on the 1 Million Cups scene. He's bringing a film crew, so he's going to film us, talk about what Tulsa's up to, maybe interview some of you guys. So if you could, plan on being here next Wednesday, and also invite a friend or two, bring your grandmother, bring everybody, let's pack the house. We'll have lots of coffee, and then you can also meet Nate. And then if you've spoken here, and we've talked about maybe you going and speaking at other 1 Million Cups chapters, it'd be good for you to be here as well. You can make the connection with Nate and get introduced to one of the other 29 cities across the nation that you might could go speak at as a 1 Million Cups alum. So next up, we got Matt Galloway with godo. I got to pull up your presentation here. Should be right here. Good to go. All right, godo. It's a social platform. I'll let Matt fill you in. It's very cool. I've actually been playing around with it for the last maybe 6 weeks. And I enjoy it, and I check in on it quite regularly. So give it up for Matt Galloway.
I'm always amazed when anyone gives me a microphone. It's always really a bad idea. Am I the only one that's compelled to say, hey, good looking, be back to pick you up later? So, like, that's my test to see how many people in the audience are over 40. So my name is Matt Galloway, and I'm with godo, and we are a social platform for spurring action, creating change, and measuring impact. So thought leaders want to do more than influence thinking. They want change champions in their organizations. So you think about people like Dr. Sanjay Gupta, who's an expert in health, and he's really focused on better health through preventative lifestyle instead of going in and trying to fix things later. Better living lifestyle. Oops. I should probably learn how to use Prezi before giving a presentation with Prezi. What did I just do? Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. This doesn't count off my 6 minutes. So organizations like the Sierra Club are focused on environmental issues, or brands that are like Dove, who are using innovative marketing techniques to really try to understand how to improve the lives of their target market through their kind of innovative marketing strategies. But existing social media lets them share ideas, and that's what social media is all about. So if we look at what these folks are doing on Facebook, so here's a tweet from Sanjay Gupta, posting an article that people might read about, kind of a feel-good post from the Sierra Club, a wonderful photograph of a ladybug and a nice little feel-good quote. Or Dove, a little game thing on Facebook, because apparently having women sit in front of their computers on Facebook more will make them happier and healthier. But what gets measured with social media is reach. So, we have this global network of computers that we spent the last 40 years building. We have these billion-dollar corporations that are driving content, and we have, hundreds of millions of people connected worldwide. The world is flatter than it's ever been. And what we do with this technology is right? That's what we do. So, and that's how we measure. That's how we measure reach in social media. So, how many people retweeted the tweet? How many people liked my Facebook post? How many people liked my Facebook post? There are starving children in Africa. Please help. Retweet, right? And and we feel better about it. But leaders want to do more than just collect fans and followers. They want to educate, inspire, and lead people to make changes in themselves and around the world. Right? So leaders that flock to social media, that are using it as a broadcast mechanism to push out information. But there's still a real question about whether or not that's actually affecting change. And followers, we as followers, we're the people that are consuming social media, we want to do more than just read stuff and like things. We want to get involved. And a lot of times we don't really know what to do, right? We don't just want to repeat this stuff and be part of the broadcast machine. We want to get involved and make our world a better place. We want to participate, produce, and so really, the microphone is killing me. So social tools today. Social tools do not exist to facilitate the process. So Facebook, Twitter, they're all about broadcast. They're not about facilitating action that follows on what those leaders are trying to accomplish. And that's what godo does. We created the reason we created godo. And we want to measure the impact. Instead of 327 likes, we want to measure 327 people that actually did something. So our purpose is to give leaders the opportunity to make a difference through sharing action-oriented go-dos. And a go-do is what we call an action that a leader kind of puts out in the world to be done. And then measure that impact for that leader to be able to go back and say, hey, this is, as a group, as an organization, this is what we accomplished. So we've invented the notion of social action instead of just social media. Whereas Twitter and Facebook are sharing, were about social action, actually trying to create things in the real world that are being done. So as an example, like Sanjay Gupta would go and hopefully one day Sanjay Gupta will go and create what we call a group that has a purpose statement and a name. People can sign up to be members of that group. He then publishes an action in that group to be done. So in this case, he might say something like, hey, today, park, wherever you go to work, park in the furthest parking spot out. And so you walk a bunch of extra steps on your way into work. That gets broadcast out through traditional Twitter and Facebook, but also through push notification on our platform. And then throughout the day, people just do this. They go into our app and they see something to do instead of just to like, and they do that activity. So over the next day, maybe 17,221 people check the done button in the GoDo app. And then Dr. Gupta can report that these 17,000 people did this, and that's an estimated 2,000 extra miles that were walking, an additional 25,000 calories that were burned. So you can look at what the group is accomplishing on a whole. So that's kind of generally what it is, but I want to do a quick product demo. So this app is already on the App Store. It's we've done a soft launch. We're going to do a big launch event in May. Let me get the, I'm going to take over the screen here. There we go. So our app is only on iOS currently. We also have kind of a view-only web version that's pretty thin at the moment, but we plan to have a full functioning web app sometime in the near future, as well as an Android platform. And you can read my text messages while I'm presenting, right? Did you need help with something? I guess I didn't. So we go into GoDo, and when we come into GoDo, the first thing that we see is this home screen. I've joined some groups, and any current actions that are available in groups that I've joined will show up under my actions there at the top. So that action on the left, oh my goodness, if I could only, I'm sorry about that. I really hope this is my band members, so if there's like some expletives, I really apologize. So this is what an action looks like. This group is a group that Jacob Johnson has put together, and he gives tips on how to take better photographs with iPhones. And so he can publish a video. And if the speakers apparently aren't hooked up to TV, but he's actually giving instructions on what to do. And what he's telling you to do,
the volume up button on your headphones will actually.
He's telling you how to take candid photos with your iPhone by using the headphone cord to do a remote shutter to snap pictures of people without them knowing about it. And he's telling you to take a picture of somebody in public. So I want to do this action. I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. It's kind of a neat thing you can do. And Jacob's done a really great job with his group. He has all kinds of really great ideas about how to take better pictures with your iPhone. And this is all about sort of capturing the moment. And here's somebody, I don't even know who this person is, but somebody has sort of candidly captured these soldiers passing the time in Afghanistan. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say I did it. And I'm going to add a photo from my camera roll, because I took this photo earlier. A candid photo of Jeff Simpson hanging out by himself. So I'm going to say a lonely Jeff Simpson, right? And now I'm going to say I've done it. And it posts there, it posts on the timeline, and there's the photo. And that's pretty much all there is to it. From the user's perspective. So I can go out and find groups that interest me. I can join them, and so if it's I'm really interested in the social causes aspect of this. So in organizations where I might just write a check once a year or something like that, but I really want to do something. I really want to do something with Sierra Club, but what do I do on a daily basis to further that cause? And so this is a way that those organizations can help me do stuff to further that cause.
All right, with that, I'm going to cut you off. We're going to open up for Q&A. And also, while we're talking, if you haven't already, go download go.do.
Go.do in the App Store.
All right, questions? Yeah, Dave.
So you said that it'll post and you can sync this with your Facebook and Twitter and things like that. Is that like ultimate goal? Eventually, you'll end up like an Instagram or something like that, and probably for like $1 billion. Is If that's the direction you're going with it,
Are you offering $1 million? $1 billion? You say $1 billion? Are you offering $1 billion?
No, that's just if it syncs with those. Is that kind of the platform you're trying to sync with those together?
Well, we definitely realize the power of social sharing, and we're not trying to say that social sharing is bad or stupid or without value. And we understand that that's how people want to share things that they do. So we're definitely connecting into Facebook and Twitter. But what you share on Facebook and Twitter are these actual actions. So you have to actually be doing stuff in our platform to share out to those. And gosh, if that gets the attention of Facebook at some point, and we get $1 billion, offer from Facebook, we'll definitely consider it at that time.
I get 10%.
That's 10%. Hey, so just a simple, silly question, but this is really more directed for folks that want to gather that information for themselves. So it's really not going to do a whole lot for me except just my sharing. I love to share stuff about myself and about this event, but really it's a great platform. I'm assuming just solely or mainly for those folks, just like this gentleman here, sharing his abilities to show us how to use the camera, and then he can actually take that feedback and really utilize it. I mean, that's the focus, correct?
Actually, no, it's twofold. There absolutely is unquestionably benefits to a leader of a group, but we wouldn't have a platform if we didn't believe there's real value for the end user. Like any social media platform, step one is get 1 million users, and we can't do that unless we're driving value to the end user. So what is the value to the end user? The value to the end user is there are all kinds of causes that I believe in, that I support, that I retweet on Twitter, or that I send checks to on an annual basis. But on a daily basis, I don't know what to do to integrate in my daily life to support that, to support the Sierra Club, or support Amnesty International. Or we have a lot of youth groups that are interested in this, right? So the youth group leader is looking at it and saying, I want to help, I see my kids Wednesdays and Sundays, but I want to help them throughout the week to think about their spiritual teachings and how they can integrate that into their life on a daily basis. So today, read this Bible passage and act on it in this way, right? So as the end user, it's a way to identify a bunch of things that I'm interested in, and then get these little things that I can do on a daily basis that help me support those things that I'm passionate about.
Matt, what's the plan? I've played around with it a lot, and I enjoy the different, like Jacob's group. I really enjoy learning about these tips. What's sort of the plan to identify these content creators like a Jacob or a celebrity, whatever, to mobilize lots of people to download the app quickly?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So right now, we really are a soft launch. We had to get the app in the App Store to start people using it. So if you do onboard onto the app, there's not a ton of groups on there. There's not a lot of activity yet. And our biggest challenge right now is recruiting good, strong leaders that can create good, compelling content for people to show up. And there's a little bit of a chicken and an egg thing going on. And one of our, it's a little bit of a spoiler alert, but our big ask is for people that have organizations or leaders that think they might be interested in this to look at the app and reach out to us. But the big event that we're doing is we've partnered. Can I talk about this? So the big event that we're looking forward to is our official launch is going to be on May 9th. We've partnered with LeaderCast, which is this enormous conference focused on leaders that happens in how many cities? Like a bazillion cities at the same time. It's centered out around Atlanta, but they simulcast this thing to a bunch of arenas around the country, and it reaches 100,000. I should know all these numbers. A ton of people. So that's going to be our big launch, and we're actually partnered with them. They're actually going to talk about our platform as a mechanism for leaders to connect with their organizations and to show the actions of their organizations. And so that's kind of going to be our big launch on May 9th, and we're hoping that obviously catapults us into a lot of diversity of different types of groups and different types of leaders. Right now, we're going out and kind of one-on-one finding small organizations or small groups. We have a lot of interest in faith-based initiatives right now, so we're looking at a lot of youth groups. We have some special interest types of things. Jacob's photography group. When you onboard onto the app, you'll automatically be put into a group that we call the Daily Do, which is kind of our example. We lead by example, a group that we maintain just to make sure that there's something to do when you onboard onto the app. So that's the kind of stuff that's in there now.
So as you're designing and developing this application, there's obviously social media inside the application. And where do you draw the line for the interactions with the other people? Because you're doing the sharing on Facebook and Twitter, how do you as a designer decide what stays in the app and what gets shared outside of the app? And a related question is, what is this app not for?
That is a great question, and something we've thought a lot about. So we draw the line at action. A lot of the idea behind our app came from discontentment that we have with the lack of action surrounding social media today. The notion of the like, right? I like something and I get to walk away. And so we really try to make sure everything that you do in our app is around an action. So as an end user, I can't just go in and arbitrarily post something to my friends. That's something, if you just want to share an idea or a thought or whatever, that's a Facebook, Twitter thing. In our app, you have to be doing something. So if you're a member of a group and you just want to take action, in order to post, there are really only two things you can do. You can either do something and post about what you've done or post the fact that you've done it, or you can comment on somebody else's, what we call a did it. So if you've done something and I see it, I want to say, hey, that's great, Jeff. That's inspirational to me. I can comment on that. And we were even a little wishy-washy on whether we wanted to add that commenting part, but we really felt that people wanted to, we wanted that kind of, that peer group, like inside of a youth group, to encourage each other and those types of things. So you can comment on other people's did it, but that's it. So you can't really do anything in our app unless you're taking action and recording it, or creating actions or directions for actions for other people to do. And then everything else we look at as being part of the social share world, and we want to push you off into Facebook and Twitter for that.
I think I can actually help you with some connections. I was thinking about, have you ever read the book Love Does?
I'm sorry, what book?
Love Does by Bob Goff.
Oh, no, I have not.
He's always about actually action and doing. And it's a great book, you should read it sometimes. But in the back of the book, he gives his phone number, and he encourages people actually to contact him.
Oh,
He's followed by millions of people, and he would be probably one of the best connections for you as your celebrity endorsement. And he does answer the phone and he gives you that number.
Great,
So,
thank you.
and the other thing would be, I used to work at a missions organization based out of Gainesville, Georgia, and we would get 500,000 hits in one of our sites per week, and 250,000 on one of our other sites. And they would be a great connection with just participants and things like that are actually going on the mission field. So,
great.
And then finally, I don't know if you ever saw the movie Father of Lights. Darren Wilson, this guy. Another big guy that this would be a great connection for. So I can give you 3 of those at the end.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
He only charges $10,000 per connection.
I'm really excited about this, and I've been trying to log in and everything, but it does seem to take a little while to get logged in. I know you're in the first phase of launching this, but are you, a lot of apps that I've downloaded, you can like click to log in through Facebook or something like that. Are you going to be able to do this or work towards that? Because I mean, I have a really short attention span, and I think a lot of people do as well.
Yes. I mean, the short answer to that is yes. Absolutely, we will. We're actually doing. I'm in the middle of doing more Facebook integration right now. I'm actually an iOS developer on the project. And I hate Facebook, by the way. At this point, I truly hate Facebook. As a developer, it's horrible. There's a hate button. If there's a hate button, I would hate Facebook. But yes, no, absolutely. We want to be able to onboard with Facebook. We want to be able to onboard with Twitter. And frankly, one of our big challenges right now is attention span, right? So Twitter and Facebook, and we also have people like, well, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to create an account. I just want to go in and look at content. Well, that's not what we're about. We're not about like browsing content. And so we not that we don't recognize the value of that or the marketing potential of that, but it's something that we struggle with internally to try to decide, hey, if you actually want to do stuff, there's some barrier to get over. But we are going to do onboarding with Facebook. We are going to do eventually onboarding with Twitter probably as well. It was important for us, and this is Instagram went this way as well. It was important for us to have our own accounts that are kind of separate from the rest of the social media world. And since we knew we wanted to do that, that's where we started. But we will be doing onboarding with Facebook probably before our big launch in May. But it will be coming. But please go ahead and onboard.
I'm curious how you prevent the like, the retweet, the favorite from becoming the action that people are asking other people to do, so you can avoid becoming just another funnel back into those larger social media.
I'm hoping to have to deal with that problem. I can't imagine someone coming into an app like ours, going through the onboarding process, finding groups, having these actions pushed to them, just to have a way to put content on Facebook. If you want to put content on Facebook, you're just going to go there and do it. Thus far, we don't have a lot of users yet. We have a few hundred users in the system currently. We've really had zero problem with people just posting garbage. We know that's coming, but it hasn't started happening yet. And we believe that that's because the nature of the tool and the process. You really kind of have to go through a series of steps and focus on what you're trying to accomplish before you can start putting content into the system. And that kind of serves as a stone mechanism to police things. But if we got to the point that we felt like you can, by the way, like did it without adding content, you can add a text comment or a single photograph or a single video. And we limit those to single video and single video because we don't want people to just use it to blast a ton of content in there. It's really about, hey, I did this thing and here's a short little sentiment about that. But if we got to the point that everyone just did it and there was no content, but we had a lot of users, we would probably start raising that bar through user interface design to make it harder to do that. Like if we had 1 million did it today, but nobody was posting content, we might say, look, you've got to do one of the three. You've got to put a text comment, you've got to put a video comment, you've got to, or something like that. Or every third one you have to add content. Or we would do something to tweak the UI to make sure that, or to try to encourage people to actually be doing these things.
If I may follow up quickly, we thought about putting it in terms of use so that when you create the action, part of the terms of use is you can't just have a like and favorite or comment to go through on social media as part of the terms of use and create action goals to do that.
Because people read the terms of use. Yeah, well, it's in there. It's in there. Go ahead and read for it. You put it in.
2 questions. Can the creator of a group restrict who joins the group or what content they post? And then second, are y'all generating revenue as a plan to?
Yes, we plan to generate revenue. I'll answer them in reverse order. So right now there are no limits on, there's no notion of a private group. There's no notion on limiting people who can be in your group. Those types of things don't exist yet. We do have stories for them. We don't have a need for them yet. Right now we're trying to build, we want to get that 1 million users. So right now it's most beneficial to us to have public content. If we had somebody big that wanted to onboard that they had to have that, but they promised us 1 million users, we'd talk about it. But right now it's not a priority story for that reason, because private stuff doesn't help us grow. But it is a story we are looking to do in the future. The monetization model for this, well, step 1 is get 1 million users. Beyond that, we are looking at a notion of what we call godo Pro, which will be a subscription model that will be most valuable to leaders, actually exclusively valuable to leaders. So leaders that really want to pull analytics out, they want to be able to pull out all this content, to be able to get collages of photos and things like that easily out of the app, to have sort of better insight management into their analytics, to have more control over posting, to have more control over branding. We haven't actually built the pro piece yet, but that's the roadmap, and we're not sure. We have a whole lot of ideas for the features of the Pro piece, but we haven't actually sort of defined the prioritization for those yet and built that out. But the goal is to build a Pro piece that is subscription-oriented, focused on the leader side of things, and monetize through that mechanism.
Will you or do you have a way to monitor the content in the way that on Facebook or Instagram you can flag something as inappropriate? Because I'm picturing like a high school kid, you know, snorting vodka and salsa, and then trying to get people like one up, you know, doing it and posting videos. So do you have a plan for that?
Yeah, no, little fun fact for anybody aspiring to create a social media app for Apple. Apple will not let you, they will not approve a social media app that has user-generated photo or video content unless you have a flag as inappropriate mechanism and you convince Apple that you're monitoring it and will take action on it. You have to have a written policy on that, and you have to have a mechanism implemented before they will approve your app. So right now, anyone can flag as inappropriate content in our app. And there's a menu option for that. And then if you are a leader, you basically have editorial rights to everything underneath your group. Editorial meaning that you can delete. So I can delete, if I create an action and you do it, and you do something inappropriate, as the leader, I can delete your did it. Or if someone comments on yours and be like, that's stupid, I can delete their comment if I want, as the leader. And as well as godo reserves the right to of course, police inappropriate content. So we gave some power to the leaders to be able to police their own groups as well.
What if I'm the inappropriate leader? Do you have the capability to either delete the group that I've created that is inappropriate?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's just up to your judgment as far as what's inappropriate.
You can delete the whole app if you want. Matt, what can we, the entrepreneurial community, do to help you guys at this stage besides these 3 connections and Bob Goff's phone number and all that?
So download the app and try it out, number 1. Number 2, if you haven't, or if you're in an organization, if you lead an organization, you know of an organization that's really trying to find mechanisms to connect on a daily basis with their membership better, please let them know about our app, have them contact us. We'd love to help coach them on how to create a group and how to write effective go-dos in their organization. We're really focused on social causes, faith-based organizations and youth groups, any sort of nonprofit organization that's trying to motivate their membership, or really anybody that has an existing organization where they want to try to connect better and actually accomplish action on a daily basis. That's who we're looking for.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. Go do. A couple of announcements that I skipped over here. Okay, we got Daniel here with OSU. He's going to announce their event.
Hi everybody, good morning. My name is Daniel Holloman. I'm a GA at the Riata Center for Entrepreneurship at OSU Tulsa. And I'm here to talk to you about the Inspire Conference that's coming up on April 8th. It's going to be a great opportunity for entrepreneurs to come together and hear from presenters such as Lauren Bush-Lauren and Lane Bryant, I believe is his name. Lane Norton. And he's a fitness instructor, and he will be talking about entrepreneurship in the fitness industry, and it's a great event for everyone to attend, so if you can make that, it'd be great. It's April 8th.
How do we sign up?
And you can go to riata.okstate.edu/inspire, and in the back I've actually got some flyers on the table over there for you to pick up if you want to check it out.
Flyers. And if you're wondering what this apparatus is, Oklahoma State is now live streaming 1 Million Cups Tulsa nationwide. Hey, Brad. Brad is sick today. He's watching us. Blow him a kiss. And we'll be having people watch us in Stillwater soon. They'll be submitting questions via Twitter, and so we'll have another audience there. So it's very cool. We're very appreciative of them funding that.
Yeah. Where do we find that live stream?
It's actually on the 1 Million Cups Tulsa website. 1millioncups.com/Tulsa. You click watch the live stream. And there you go. And then lastly, we've got an event on Tuesday. Right
Now,
here.
our company, along with Jacob's company, Get Lit Creative, are hosting next Tuesday morning on Fat Tuesday. Next Tuesday morning here at the Kids Coffee Shop in Tulsa, an event called Talk Less, Sell More. And it's how to visually sell. So we actually, there's a URL that Jacob had created. It's talkless.eventbrite.com. We're extending our invitation to you all if you'd like to attend. Next Tuesday morning.
Okay, we'll throw that up on Facebook too. We'll get that link. So that's it. Just a reminder, Nate Olson will be in town next week. 1 Million Cups founder. We'd love to have you guys attend. We'd love to have everybody standing in the back. We have to blow the curtain back and everything. Anyway, invite your friends, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.
Do that next week,
Thank you so much.
Coming along now? Good. Good deal. Yeah, it's really good. Some exposure there, and then after that,
they're super well connected. Traffic super. Hey, shows them I see the message which was the next one. It's called BBYO. So I know like
so Ken saw it, he loved it, he wanted to chat about it. Let's go with our examples. Right now, like I mean, it's you're not accomplishing anything to accomplish, you know.
Water to reverse the right.
That's the point.
It's a great
so what are key actions? No, whatever